Hi, it is Charlotte Stevens and the Ancestors with Healing Racism in Schools, and getting a lot of questions about what teachers should say to students next year in regards to racism, in regards to Black Lives Matter, white supremacy, all of that. And I would say you need to be honest and authentic. Students are really looking for adults to be authentic. So much to say here. So, one, just going back to basic education, if you want your students to, I never know where to look, if you want your students to take risk and be willing to make mistakes and raise their hand and process material and learn stuff that's challenging, you need to establish trust. And you're not going to establish trust if your students can sense that you're being disingenuous, right? If you're being fake. And so, a glaring example, what I remember growing up is a white teacher standing in front of me and telling me, "Oh, little black girl," they didn't say that, but "Oh, Charla, if you just try hard enough and work hard and go to college, everything is going to work out for you." And even at a young age, I was aware of racism, and the older and older I got, the more aware I was, and the more aware I was of systematic racism. So when this white teacher is saying that to me, that doesn't land. That's like disingenuous. I'm like, I don't know what planet you live on. Like, either you're super ignorant, like you have no understanding of what I face, or you're just lying to me. Either way, I don't trust you. I'm not going to follow you, into the land of quadratic equations or whatever it is, Shakespeare, whatever it is you want to lead me to. I don't trust you, right? And the thing is, when students trust you, they will follow you, right? They will, when you're like, "Hey, I know that you've heard terrible things about trigonometry, but like, I'm going to make it work for you. Trust me," right? But no, white teacher, I don't trust you if you can't keep it 100 about racism and white supremacy. And the other thing is, it's not just about great grades. You have to prepare students to survive racism. I have so many stories to say here, but I have a Black friend who got her doctorate, and the higher she went up in education, the more racist it was, the less people of color she saw. And so she really had to have more than just her intellect to sustain her from the inside to get her to the point where she's now doing work helping people unlearn internalized racism, right? Like, so it's not just about getting into the best schools and AP tests. Like, they're going to be facing white supremacy. How are we going to prepare them for that? And we're definitely not going to prepare them for that if we're not even acknowledging that as a fact. So as a white teacher, or as a teacher, I would just say, or the teacher of color, I'm going to give it to white teachers because I feel like teachers of color probably have a little bit easier time, but it works for everybody. If I was a white teacher new to this work, I would say, class, do you mind if I share something personal with you? I know that a lot of you already know this, but I'm a white teacher, and like, I am just learning now what that means, and that has a lot of meaning in this country. And I'm really not sure what to say. I'm uncomfortable talking about this, but I know that it's important that I say something. I know that I want to be an agent of change. I don't want to be an agent of oppression. And so, please, if you find that I'm doing something where you feel like I'm not being fair or just, or you feel like I'm being racist, like, please don't hesitate to come to me, to come talk to me. So something as simple as that, right? And reiterating that our curriculum is not inclusive, and really trying to be more inclusive, and just doing the work. And doing the work means that you don't read White Fragility one time. You don't go to an how to be an anti-racist webinar one time. Like, I've read White Fragility 6-7 times. I didn't read an audiobook, I listened to it, but 6-7 times. I'm not white, but I need to know my stuff, right? And there's a wealth of information. So when I get my teeth in a good book, I read that book over and over and over and over again, and you get more and more out of it. So that's what doing the work is. And at the end of the day, you're leading that class, and they're gonna look at your willingness to be real. Like, you can't expect students to be vulnerable and to be authentic if you're not willing to do it first. And I know we've all been in meetings where like one person got real, and then it's like, oh shit, then everybody gets real, right? I've seen that in my own experience. The more I talk out, the more real I am, the more real other people are. So you need to do it first. You need to model that, and trust that regardless of how old these kids are, they still want the truth. Like, my 6-year-old wants to know what the hell is going on, right? It doesn't matter whether they're 6 or 16. They already understand that something is not right. And studies show that white kids as old as 3 to 4 years old are already ingesting a sense of, it's better to be white, or favoring whiteness, or whatever. Like, it's already there at a very young age. So do not think that you're doing any type of protection to these kids by keeping them from from keeping this information. They need this. Even at a young age, they're still being affected. I internalized so much negative messages about Black intellect when I was in school and thinking that I was not capable and I could not do it. Those messages were already present and affecting me. So this is Charlotte Stevens, Healing Racism in Schools. Please join my Facebook group, The Anti-Racist Educator, Fighting White Supremacy in Schools. You're going to learn a wealth of information that you're just not going to learn with every school district until they get with my trainings. So I look forward to sharing more tips and having more discussions about how we can better serve Black kids and brown kids and Indigenous kids and kids of color in schools. Let's heal racism in schools. Thank you. Bye.